Hello everyone, and welcome to the English Teacher's Guide to the EDEXCEL GCSE English Literature paper. In particular, today we're looking at Unit 1 Response to Prose, and we're focusing on how to create the perfect A-star response to question A in the exam. Now, before we start going through how to do this, let's remind you of the structure of the exam paper. So, Unit 1 is looking at 2 novels. This is 50% of your total literature grade. You have 1 hour and 45 minutes of the paper. You have 2 sections, Section A and B. Now, Section A, which is what we're going to be focusing on today, and there'll be 3 other videos in relation to B, C and D, all are smaller 4-part questions. Section B is then your traditional essay, which is based on a novel from another culture, so from Mice and Men, for instance. Okay, pause that if you need to note down, but let's continue. So, let's have a look at a question A question, shall we? So, from the extract, what do you discover about the character Major? Use evidence from the extract to support your answer. Now, as you can see, we need to make sure, as we would do with any part of our planning, we underline the key words. So obviously it's from the extract. What do you discover about the character Major? Use evidence from the extract. So all the response should come from the extract. And in fact, you can actually answer question A, B and C without even reading the novel if you make sure you revise the method correctly. But here's 2 questions for you. Question 1. What do you need to do within question A in order to achieve 8 out of 8, which is A star, obviously perfect marks? So what I mean by that is, what does your answer need to cover? And then section task 2 is, what's the method you need to use in order to complete this? So obviously you need to pause this now and note down what you remember, and then when you're ready, please move on to the next slide. Okay, so let's have a look at the mark scheme really quickly. So this is all about AL1, as you can see. So it's just the way you respond to the text and how you select your evidence. You can see there's no comment on using analysis of language, form or structure. There's no need for you to use historical context because there's none of it in the mark scheme. It's basically, look at that band 3, the 6 to 8 mark, perceptive understanding. So not using obvious things, you're using slightly more complex ideas, like more implicit, sort of in between the line ideas. Use a variety of evidence from the extract to support your view, and that's it essentially, and that will help you achieve perfect marks. This is why it's important we read through the mark scheme. Now, let's look at the planning, the method that we need to use in order to answer this. So roughly speaking, it's about 5 minutes planning and a maximum 10 minutes responding. So it's obviously really important that as part of your revision you practice actually being able to plan in the time and being able to respond in the time, because you might be able to achieve perfect marks. If you can't do it in the time, there's no way that's going to happen. So when you're planning, read through the question carefully, underlining keywords as we mentioned before. You should also then underline 8 to 10 points which answer the question. So what's the 8 to 10 ideas that you can discover about the character? Because question A is always about the character. Now the answering, don't need an introduction, don't waste your time. Just start writing the 8 to 10 things you learn about the character, using evidence. Hopefully this is integrated. That's how you use evidence perceptively to support your view. As we saw from the mark scheme, there's no need for analysis, and only use evidence from the extract. Okay, so pause that to make sure you have that, but that is the method you need to revise to ensure you get perfect marks. And again, you could answer any question A in the exam, use that method, you'll get perfect marks. So let's look at the question one more time. From the extract, what do you discover about the character Major? Use evidence from the extract to support your answer. So let's have a look at the extract, shall we? So here is an example of the extract, and as you can see, what I've done is I've actually annotated already what I feel this shows about the character Major. Now I'll read this out to you, but obviously you need to do this in pen. You can also see on the side of my extract, because your response should be covered in your exam, you can see I've numbered them. Then I can literally just tick them off as I go along. So this is obviously taken from chapter 1. I only need my points from here. So I have little more to say. I merely repeat, remember always your duty of enmity towards man in all his ways. So straight away I've said, well, that shows he's being forceful, being commanding. Whatever goes upon 2 legs is an enemy. I've said that obviously depicts he has a deep hatred. And remember also that in fighting against man, we must not come to resemble him, which shows he feels that man is tainted, even when you have conquered him. And again, this highlights the character as an optimist, or he has confidence in animal's ability. Do not adopt his vices. No animal must ever live in a house, or sleep in a bed, or wear clothes, or drink alcohol, All the habits of man are evil, and above all, no animal must ever tyrannize over their own kind. Weak or strong, clever or simple, we are all brothers. And I've said that shows accommodating. No animal must ever kill any other animal. All animals are equal. So you can see already in that first paragraph, I've picked out 5 key ideas. And they're not obvious things like he talks a lot or he makes them listen. They're more perceptive than that. He's forceful. He highlights a deep hatred of man. He feels that man is tainted. And as you look through the rest of the extract, you can see that he's obviously a persuasive character. He's obviously also seen possibly as a messenger. And as you did your historical context, you know obviously the same as Stalin, as Lenin, and Marx. But again, we don't need historical context to support that. Final point here is he believes in the future generation of animals. Now, I should be looking to get 9 to 10 as well, but I've got the 8 there just to show you what you can do. And again, your extract should be covered in your notes. And in the exam, if you've got a pen that offers you different colours, question A could be in one colour, B in another, C, you get the idea. But let's go back now, shall we? So here's our question. We've already planned it. What does the answer look like? Well, here we are, and I'll read this out to you. So all I've done now is turn my notes around the extract, because essentially those quick notes are points, and then converted the evidence into full sentences. So from the extract, it's clear that the character Major is a highly forceful and commanding individual, through his demand that all animals do their duty and show enmity towards humans. So I've kind of got 2 points there. The evidence is integrated. I'm being perceptive. No need for analysis, so I carry on. This idea also helps to demonstrate the deep hatred Major has towards all humans who are enemies. We clearly discover that Major feels mankind is tainted as he requests that we must not resemble them. Notice that what I'm not doing here is I'm not going, I know this because it says, and using the full quote. You can do that. You're not wrong, but you're not necessarily being perceptive. You're not necessarily using evidence in the most efficient way. We're looking to save time as well, by using exactly what we need. Not only do we look more intelligent, it gives us more time. It's win-win. Furthermore, Major is clearly confident of all animals' ability when he states when you have conquered him, which also demonstrates that the character feels conflict with mankind is inevitable, whilst also highlighting his optimism for the future. So quite, these are not obvious ideas, these are kind of more implied. Moreover, it's a good idea as well to notice the sentence starters that I'm using here to link ideas rather than just repeating another. Moreover, we discover that Major is accommodating to all animals, describing them as brothers. Major is also a persuasive character, referring to the positive nature of the dream that is life without man. Penultimately, which is second to last, Major is clearly a teacher or even a messenger to the animals, as he refers to things he has taught the animals in the extract. Finally, it is apparent that Major believes in the future generation of animals, as he feels they are better at singing the song of freedom than he. So you can see how important the planning is to your answer, because all I've done there is write out in full sentences. I've only used the bits of evidence that I need. It's clear, it's concise, it's coherent, the ideas are perceptive. I've obviously got perfect marks. So thank you. There's a link on this video here to help you move on to look at your past exam papers. But also remember, it's content, method, timing for your revision. Content, do you know your text inside out? If not, learn it. Method, do you know exactly what you need to do with every question in order to get perfect marks? If you don't, learn it. Timing, can you display your content and your method in exam timing? If you do all those things, you will receive perfect marks. So thank you for listening, and get lucky with your revision.